What is going on, guys, and welcome back to Touchdowns to Home Runs. My name is Bernie. Thank you for joining us today on the Touchdowns to Home Runs show. That your day is going absolutely fantastic. We're actually within 2 weeks away now from this year's NBA draft, and for the Toronto Raptors drafting at number 4, they have a couple of different options, whether that's a guy like Evan Mobley or Jalen Green potentially sliding down to the Raptors, or maybe a little bit of a reach in a guy like Scotty Barnes or Jonathan Kuminga. But right now it seems like far and away the most likely draft option for the Raptors is, of course, Jalen Suggs. So today we'll be briefly breaking him down, and then I'll be giving 4 reasons why I actually think Jalen Suggs is the perfect fit for the Toronto Raptors moving forward. Just before we do get into the video though, if you guys do enjoy what you see today, make sure to let me know by smashing that thumbs up button and subscribing to Touchdowns to Home Runs for more Raptors content just like this in the future. But anyways, let's get right into it. Of course, Jalen Suggs is a 6'4", 205-pound point guard, played last year for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. He's a former multi-sport athlete, actually, was a 3-star football recruit coming out of high school, had a couple of offers there. And definitely some of those traits translated over to his basketball game, helped him develop some of his athleticism and physicality as well. He was ranked number 11 in the recruiting class of 2020 for basketball, according to 24/7 Sports, and definitely didn't disappoint in his first year at the collegiate level, where he averaged 14.4 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, 4.5 assists in a tremendous offense for Gonzaga last year. So why is Jalen Suggs perfect for the Toronto Raptors? Well, the first reason that I have is that he's the perfect floor general, in my opinion. One of the biggest decisions that the Raptors are going to have this year is whether to re-sign Kyle Lowry or not. But regardless if they bring him back for another year or they don't, Jalen Suggs is definitely a guy that you could trust running the point guard position. We'll talk about later in the video sort of his high basketball IQ, his ability to lead a team. But I really think his game style and the way he plays basketball just fits sort of the scheme that Nick Nurse and the Raptors currently run. And what I really like about Jalen Suggs, especially if he is the guy who does end up replacing Kyle Lowry, I like to call him a Kyle Lowry 2.0, a younger version of Kyle Lowry with a lot of the same traits, both offensively and defensively. And I think if you want any draft prospect to be able to replace sort of your franchise guy like that, Jalen Suggs would definitely be a perfect guy to do so. Jalen Suggs, in terms of his actual game, has very good court vision. One of his best qualities in his game is his superb passing, knows how to facilitate the basketball, and is very decisive in doing so. The Toronto Raptors offense, of course, contains a lot of ball movement, and it's no question that these type of traits would definitely work in the Raptors offense. Possibly the most interesting thing, though, in terms of this would be the way that he would work with Pascal Siakam and the way those two guys would pair together. And I think Suggs is definitely a guy who could help Siakam develop. Not only is he decisive, but he's a very quality leading point guard and a very quality point guard in terms of how he runs pick and rolls. And I think given Siakam's athleticism, Suggs is definitely a guy who could amplify that talent, get Siakam some more touches inside, and use his athleticism more. And I think, the Raptors really need either Siakam or Anunoby to sort of take that next step up. I think in the future, a couple years down the line, Suggs is definitely the guy that can help Pascal Siakam. Second point that I got, defensive potential. Last year, Jalen Suggs definitely put up some solid defensive stats. One being just shy of 2 steals per game at 1.9 steals per game, but overall does a lot of the small things right on the defensive side of the basketball. The first thing is in terms of his size, he's 6'4". Size-wise can match up with essentially most guards in the league at 1 or the 2, in my opinion. And you couple that with his tremendous athleticism, and all of a sudden you got a lockdown perimeter defender with a ton of potential on defense. He moves well laterally as a whole, plays with very high energy. He's got a super high basketball IQ that definitely helps him on this side of the ball as well. Most people talk about how that IQ translates solely to the offensive part of his game and the way that he's able to be a decisive passer, but it definitely translates to that defensive side as well. His ability to cut off passing lanes, things like that. A lot of the small things, definitely things that are going to be very crucial at the NBA level, but also traits that are very developed for his age, and I think that's, just a telltale of the type of player that Jalen Suggs is. It would also be just a huge bonus in terms of the defense for the Raptors if they don't sign Lowry. You're talking about a guy in Kyle Lowry who is arguably one of the best defending guards in the entire league. So not necessarily an easy trait to replace, but I think at this young age, the defensive potential of Jalen Suggs, definitely a guy that the Raptors would love to slot in to their lineup. Number 3, passing the torch. Now, I'll build on sort of what I was just talking about before. Of course, the Raptors, in the midst of a very busy offseason, one of the biggest decisions that they do have to make is, do we re-sign Kyle Lowry or not? But I think whether you re-sign Kyle Lowry for another year or two, you keep him around, I don't think he's in the core of the Raptors, really, when you look at when they'll be back into Eastern Conference contention, because I still think they're a piece or two away. And I don't think, it's not a bad idea at all to start developing your point guard of the future, and I think that's definitely what Jalen Suggs could be. Again, because I think how well the Raptors would be able to move from a guy like Kyle Lowry to a Jalen Suggs, who's a Kyle Lowry 2.0. Suggs, again, I love the way that he just brings the same traits, how two-way he is, but he's just a very, likable guy. He's got all the traits on offense, defense. Yeah, so I definitely think in terms of passing the torch, Jalen Suggs definitely a guy who could help you sort of transfer, the era of the Raptors. The final one that I have, Jalen Suggs would definitely be a fan favorite. Lowry's sort of that guy right now. You still got Siakam, you still got Anunoby, Fred VanVleet, a couple other guys on the team as well. But I still think Toronto would be looking for that guy. And, just given the way that he plays the game, I think he would definitely be that instant fan favorite with the high energy, intensity. And you look at sort of the guys who have been fan favorites for Toronto and just really Toronto sports as a whole. I mean, Jalen Suggs really does fit that mold. He's a guy who's mega athletic, can definitely dunk, alley-oops, get you into SportsCenter top 10, no doubt about it. But overall, his just overall game style is very likable, especially in the basketball world. He's a guy that can shoot. He's a guy who can finish at the basket, score at really all 3 levels, and he's definitely one of the most athletic guys in the draft. And then you put that just on top of the type of guy he should be off the court. He knows how to carry himself. He's a high energy guy overall. Just really, really likable. I think given all these things, Jalen Suggs is the guy to go in the draft. Now, of course, this is a whole different story if a guy like Evan Mobley or Jalen Green slides down. But I think, given the way that most mock drafts are shaping up right now, with it being Cade Cunningham 1, Jalen Green most likely at 2, but him and Evan Mobley mixed in at 2 and 3. So I think, out of definitely Jalen Suggs, Scotty Barnes, Jonathan Kuminga, if the Raptors are looking at anybody else there, I mean, in my opinion, Jalen Suggs, far and away, is definitely the guy to go with. But anyways, guys, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure to let me know your thoughts, your comments, your predictions down in the comment section below. Do you guys like Jalen Suggs at 4? Do you think he's going to work with the Raptors? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you guys did enjoy today's video, though, make sure to let me know by leaving a thumbs up. Smash that subscribe button. Help us get to 10,000 subscribers. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.